There, y'all get 10 before a Q&A. Let's get right into the questions. What are your favorite vegetarian bulking food options? It's fucking easy. Eggnog. Duh. Uh, Go back through my channel. Eggnog. But, you said vegetarian, not vegan. So, like, dairy is probably going to be your best bet, be it chocolate milk, ice cream, things of that nature. Um, Vegetarian, there's still a wide array of products that's, your access isn't really limited by being a vegetarian. I would say even like the majority of bulk foods that non-vegetarians eat are still vegetarian friendly because it's mostly carbohydrates when you think of bulk foods. Um, Things like rice, pancakes, things of that nature. And you didn't say vegan, you said vegetarian, so eggs and dairy and all that stuff still on the table. That's kind of an easy one, to be honest. Vegan, it would get a little more uh, uh, nuanced, but again, still there's vegan options for most of these things now, and like rice and things like that are vegan. So that's bulking is easy. I would say like the carnivore would have the hardest time bulking probably, just because eating that much animal product at once can cause some issues or lead to issues. It'd be very hard to do because of how satiating it is, but being a carnivore is dumb anyway. So, in regards to training, they're not my favorite people. How to program OHP for general strength, just like any other lift. I mean, that's not something that's overly complex or complicated. Pick what style of training you like: block linear, conjugate, step loading, etc. Just generally speaking, just get strong in a variety of rep ranges and progress them as such. That's uh, not really something, again, that's very, very complicated to do. If you could pick three exercises to do for the rest of your life, which three bench variations would you pick? Larson press, Larson press, Larson press. Next question. Seriously though, I would Larson press. It would be Larson press would be one. Probably front squats and uh if I'm like allowed to run and jump and stuff outside of the gym, I wouldn't pick box jumps. If I'm only limited to this as exercising, I would pick my box jumps. But if I'm allowed to run and jump and play sports and stuff, then probably clean and jerk. And not because I think it's some profound exercise or anything. I just suck at it and would give me something to get good at. Whereas like front squats and Larson press are just a couple of my favorite staples, and I'm good at them anyway. But I would still want to keep doing them. Um, but clean and jerk would give me something to work on. How to rehab joint pain while maintaining strength. I'm not a doctor, uh, but work through the ranges of motion that are pain free, and gradually look to increase that range of motion without aggravating said joints until you get to a point where you can do it pain free. And at first, this may require not doing certain exercises at all, because just regardless of the range of motion, they may aggravate it. It's not out of the realm of possibilities that you need just complete rest on the joint altogether for a little bit. But just again, find the pain-free ranges of motion and work through those, and look to gradually increase said range of motion until you get back to a full range of motion. How to train with a newborn in 12-hour shifts. You need to compact your training, like get it in as quickly as you can. And that, requires shorter rest times, and focusing on like bigger movements and getting those in, and your accessories might need to be neglected for a little bit. But on an upper day, you might get in, get warmed up, one or two hard sets on bench, one or two hard sets on like overhead press or behind the neck press or something like that, and then one or two hard sets of pull-ups, and that might be it. Including your warm-ups up to them, of course, with short rest periods, and just look to get in what you can as you can. This is where RPE can come into play, RIR as well, and using those to auto-regulate, because your rest is going to be all over the place. So auto-regulation is necessary here, but just getting it in quickly and taking what's there. Not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to add 5 pounds, each week till I hit a wall, because those walls may come on a daily basis. So taking what's there and just being real intense and real, what's the word I'm looking for? You've got to be really concise and focused and have that intent, and be mindful and not waste a lot of time or motion in there. And congratulations, by the way. Been lifting for 5 months. Am I serious? Yet I look about the same as I once did. Is this consistency mindset? Like 5 months is not a very long time. You should start noticing some changes. You said semi-serious though, so I mean, you gotta, you again, intent. You have to be mindful and have intention and be deliberate. So, I mean, you're not gonna see profound changes in 5 months. Maybe with your lifts, like numbers on the bar should be going up at a pretty good clip at this point, assuming you're any sort of consistent with diet and exercise. But yes, you need to keep getting after it. Like a lot of the people you see on YouTube have been doing it for 5, 10 years, 15 years, and it doesn't happen overnight. Pulled a muscle in my lower back, stretching like an idiot. Have my own plan of recovery for a week. Reintroduce the movement, or come at bike, heat and calisthenics before hopping back in strength training. My question: what would you do next? Would you deload and start from the bottom? Would you just hop back in with the same weight, trying to squat 400 for reps? I would take it extremely slowly. I wouldn't just hop right back in. Generally, with the heat and the calisthenics and stuff, and making sure you keep it in motion is always good. And that helps me a lot, and keeping it relaxed, because the worst part about your lower back is at the end of the day, when you lay down and go to sleep and you wake up the next morning and it's stiff as fuck again. And once you get to moving during the day, it kind of feels some sense of relief. But then like you dread going to bed at night, because it's going to suck again in the morning. But yeah, I wouldn't just hop back in with the same weights at all. I would take it extremely slowly. Better safe than sorry. And you're better off taking 2 to 8 weeks, perhaps, and gradually working it back in, than to re-aggravate it and be forced out for 10 to 20 weeks. What do I think about the Mustang Mach-E? So EVs in general, I've not got to be around a lot. Me and my son went to the local drag strip last weekend for the Run What You Brung night, and the Tesla was there smoking everybody. It's hilarious. I think them naming it the Mustang is just what caused the controversy, and they probably did that intentionally, because all publicity is good publicity. I think EVs are cool though. They serve their place. I don't think we don't have the infrastructure to support like this mass turnover of EVs like some people want, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. I think it's cool. Like it's cool to me, especially that like these SUVs and pickup trucks. Like, I like the Rivians on paper. Again, I've not been near one, but seeing like SUVs and trucks that can do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds is just mind blowing. When I was growing up, in the early and mid 90s, like exotics were doing 0 to 60 around 5 seconds, or just under 5 seconds was really, really fast. And, it's not the case anymore. It's funny. My man says, not a question, but a statement. Working up to one top set of 6 to 8 all out, balls to walls, in every exercise twice per week is more than enough volume and works better than 16 to 20 sets per week. So, why it works better for you and can work better for some is just the buying in and the actually going balls out. I think it's easy to phone in some straight sets sometimes. I don't think straight sets are bad. I do straight sets oftentimes. I have a lot of my clients doing straight sets. But it's sometimes the intent is lacking in straight sets. Like I said, it's easy to phone them in. It's easy to not take them quite as serious. It's easy to lollygag through them. Whereas if you're only going to work up to 1 or 2 sets, it's very easy to buy into that intensity, knowing that you're only going to have these couple sets a week to do. And it's just a mental thing. And that's a lot of what lifting and life in general is, throughout many disciplines and hobbies, is finding the system of said discipline or hobby that you buy into and makes you want to get after it. And for you, that might be the best way. That doesn't mean it's the best way for everybody. It doesn't mean it's the best way overall. But it is certainly viable. And it's working for you, so I wouldn't change it or, want my mind to be changed. If big tries equals big push, we prioritize triceps exercises in a push day, floor press, close grip dips, and other more than chest and shoulders. A lot of those you're working your chest and shoulders too. So yeah, I mean, triceps are great, especially in the bench press. They're one of the prime movers with your chest and your shoulders. As you develop as a lifter, you'll have strengths and weaknesses. I'm a very shoulder dominant bench presser. However, that does lead to some triceps neglect from just bench press. And I do have to focus on my triceps big time with accessory movements and secondary movements and things like that. Yes, I would never tell anybody not to focus on triceps during a push day as part of their accessories. But again, if your triceps are, your strong point of your bench press, you can certainly still do triceps accessories, don't get me wrong, and your triceps are going to be hit with all pressing movements that you do. But they might not need to be the main focus of your secondary work on a push day if they are already, like the strongest part of your press. Is there any unconventional exercises that you think are especially beneficial? Can be anything: sandbags, mace swings, trap bar OHP, dead stop presses. I don't know what Jeff Nippard's floor maxer moto cable rows are. But I've bought into sandbags. I think sandbags are great. Just how awkward they are, and kind of the different kind of strength that is required to pick them up and handle them and put them over your shoulder and carry them. Front carries, has been great for me overall. So yeah, I'm big on the sandbags. A lot of the things you mentioned, I've never really done. I've done dead stop presses. I think those are beneficial until they're not. If you do have that sort of weakness, right there off the chest in your bench press, I think they're fantastic doing a dead press. A lot of these things have their merit. It just depends upon the lifter themselves and the application. I would say don't be afraid to try new things. And it's based on what you're looking for in your programming and your training. And if you think something can help you and be beneficial, try it. Like I said, I've not done a lot of these movements, so I can't speak on them specifically. But yes, definitely, the sandbags have been fucking wonderful for me. Disco Inferno, Alex Wright, or Tokyo Magnum, who had the moves? It's definitely Das Wonder Kid with his big bratwurst. My man Alex Wright, for sure. If you get the big bratwurst reference, congratulations, you're a real fan. And I'm sure you probably get that. Anyway, thanks again, guys, for the Q&A. Peace!